That's the power of utilizing what God's given you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the message I've been trying to push over the last couple of years, as well as with this podcast, is if God's given you something, if God's given you a talent and you think that you can do something with it for him, talk to one of your spiritual leaders and see how you can. It's so much more important to do that than to talk to your mates about it and say, okay, what about this? What about that? No, talk to your spiritual leader and see, okay, I've got this gift. Do you think God can use it somewhere? And if not yet at that point, they will guide and direct. You know, I've got a couple of teenagers that are working on editing skills at the moment. So I give them projects whenever I can so that they can learn and they can grow in their editing skills so that when we are ready to use them and we do need them in the ministry, they're ready to go. And I think that is the important thing, is if you've got the talent, I don't know what it is, utilize it. Talk to someone about it, use it, because I think at the end of the day, that's going to be a massive thing for them.
When I was actually in year 11, or even year 12, I was obviously, music was one of my electives, and we had to compose something for, it could have been like an ensemble, a band or something. And one of my friends, he was just amazing at this. I looked at him, I was so jealous. Like, we've had both the same training, you know.
But he was just talented.
He was just so talented, and I was so frustrated. I was like, I really want to write like him, but I couldn't. I didn't have the skill set yet. And I never thought I could songwrite.
Okay.
Right? Because I couldn't do it then, I didn't let that bring me down and say, I will never do this. It took me 4 years. It took me 4 years to get this skill, you know, get the ball rolling until I could eventually show my work. So when you're saying that you're getting other people trained, you know, just because you're not good at something yet doesn't mean that you have to throw it away.
100%.
You can just keep chipping at it, you know, like a statue. You know how in the oldest days, keep chiseling it away, you know. Keep working on it. Don't give up on it. You know, I know lots of people give up on things these days because they don't get it straight away. That's like me in video games. I can't play the game. I throw it away. I can't do it.
But it takes time. You're right.
It does. It takes a lot of time and effort.
Especially in a time today where everything is about instant gratification. It's a massive thing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, technology has made our lives so simple and so easy. You want to get a reply to something, you can get it like that. Like, you can get frustrated when someone doesn't reply to your text message straight away. Like, that's the type of world we live in. But we need to remember that we also live in a world that has a great God, and he's a God that takes time.
Yes.
I mean, it's so easy to forget that Jesus lived on this earth for 30 years before he started his ministry. It's easy to forget about the fact that Saul got saved and didn't start working for a couple of years. You know, it's easy to forget about the fact that David was ordained at the age of, I think it was 12, before he was actually king.
Exactly.
20 plus years later. You know, we need to let God utilize the time of molding.
That's right.
We need to let God utilize the time of preparation. So that we can get to a point where it's like, okay, now I'm ready to use you in this.
Even now, like, I'm still working at my songwriting. I don't think I'm amazing.
No, of course.
But, you know, even now, I send my work, you know, I send it to you. I send it to one of my lecturers in America. He doesn't teach there anymore. I send my work to him, and he, you know, he has a look at it. You know, you can improve that, you can improve this. I send my work to Katura. She has a look at it, and she tells me what I can improve on. So
we're constantly learning.
If you get to a stage in your mind where you say, I cannot learn anymore, you have lost. You are always going to be in that state of learning. So don't get discouraged when it doesn't work out straight away. If someone gives you some bad feedback on something, good. Because if all you're getting is good, that means, okay,
there's nothing to improve
There's nothing to improve on. You always need to be improving on something so 100%. You grow.
Cut.